Yo, welcome to Nice and Blunt. My name is Adam Mariachi. Today is Wednesday, May 13th, 3:45 p.m. Time for some best ball drafts. A little sneaky today. Not my typical time, a little earlier than usual, but feeling good, feeling ready. I hope you are, because I'm going to hop into this puppy, and hopefully I don't have to draft with any of you sickos. Let's get this thing going. I'll give you, if you are watching, if you made it in the first minute, I'll give you a little countdown. But I'm excited to get in lobbies without y'all. So 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's join the puppy. All right. 7 spots left. Pepper Tony in here. Fimpst as always. Thank you for joining us today. And I'm feeling good. Excited. Got some good vibes today. And much earlier than usual, but I do have some dinner plans. Gotta watch Survivor later on when it's live. So getting it out of the way now, we'll do at least 2 drafts. My hard out is 6 p.m. So don't think I can do more than 2 drafts. But there's still 1 spot left. If you want it, come get it. We are in a puppy. It is full. No more spots are left. So we'll see what happens. Pick 9. Not too bad. Not too bad at all. And Game Tight is in here. He got in at the 101. I see Young Phil at pick 7. Legend of Zelda at pick 8. And I think that's about it. But Best Ball Berserker, what's up with the Madden logo? What's for dinner? In all honesty, I'm not totally sure. Maybe sushi. Perhaps some sushi. Not totally sure. More likely it's pizza. More likely it's gonna be pizza. But what's up, Game Tight? You pulled the 101. You lucky son of a gun. Smashing that like, appreciate you, and appreciate everyone watching, everyone hopping in, whether it's live or on the replay. Thank y'all for joining us. And a reminder, if you are interested in best ball, if you've never signed up, if you want to join, I can get you $50 in bonus entries using promo code BLUNT. You need to be a new customer, but once you sign up, the link is in the description. With promo code BLUNT, you play your first 5, you enter 1 puppy, and then you get $50. You can either hop into 2 BBMs for free or 10 more puppies for free. Promo code BLUNT. The link is in the description. So check that out if you are interested. And as always, we will try to do our best with the team today. Have I zoomed in too much, or I think that's good. We can open that up just a little bit, but yeah, solid size there, and we are set to go. All right. So far this draft is very normal, but we're only 6 picks in. Maybe I'll be the first one to go off of ADP. So far it's been extremely in line with ADP, but I guess I'm gonna stick with it. Fuck it. We'll go CeeDee Lamb. We'll keep it boring. I'm in the 9 spot emotionally. Thank you. I appreciate the the good vibes and the support. Anytime we can get an extra manifestation ritual going, it should help. I believe in the power of manifestation. It's like the power of prayer. When you get a lot of people thinking about the same thing, you can make it happen through the power of your thoughts. So thank you, Best Ball Cabal. Much appreciated. But finally, pick 12 goes off the beaten track. Goes Genty and Chase Brown. That's a little early for Chase Brown, but I think we could argue it's fair. I don't think it's atrocious, but our boy is here. Not going to pass on Hampton. I have a team just like this so far for the first 2 rounds in that Frenchie we drafted on Friday. And honestly, I thought that team was really dope, really competitive, really good. So we'll be okay. At least for the first 2 rounds, there's nothing to worry about. But hello, Kijo. Hope you're having a good Wednesday. What's up, Best Ball on Call? Anthony, thank you for the like. Appreciate you hopping in. And if anyone wants to check out, Best Ball on Call has a YouTube channel. Got some good takes. Not sure I've caught him live recently, but he has been on the channel. And if you want to check that out, that was a very fun live stream. Go check that out on the replay if you're interested. after this is over. But I would agree, game tight. I think not the wisest move. You don't get the best running back values coming back around, but maybe Josh Jacobs and Breece Hall are really going to be that good. Maybe that's the move, but I can't blame you pulling the 101. I think you just got to take Bijan or Gibbs and just move on with your day. You'll be drafting more teams. You'll get other chances, but odds are you're not going to get Bijan unless it's with the top 2 picks. So take him while you can. Nothing wrong with that. But Fido Beto, good voodoo. Definitely some good vibes. I don't know about voodoo. Voodoo's that dark magic stuff. But I'm not worried. Checking in with Roni Baloney. Yo, I love your username, man. Maybe it's Ronnie Baloney, but I think for the sake of alliteration, it's got to be Roni Baloney. Okay, so Bowers does go at pick 19. It seems like once that run on running back is up, there's not like a definitive, compelling, like locked in wide receiver to take. But Allen goes. Thought that maybe this could be an Allen team. Haven't taken him in a minute, but I'll get some divisional correlation. I'll set up the Jalen Hurts combo if we like. Not going to be too upset with Devontae Smith as long as AJ Brown does get traded. That's really the crux of this ADP. But I guess it's interesting to consider, will Devontae Smith be moving up the board at all when AJ Brown does get traded? Is that possible? I'm not totally sure. I feel like this is definitely closer to his ceiling. There were some stretches in his career when AJ Brown was out and Devontae Smith averaged like 17 points per game, but it's a little hard to believe that he will be locked in to top 5 production. Once again, I would say top 12 is probably a fair estimate, but top 5 feels a little too overboard for Devontae Smith. Pepper Tony says he will move up, but he shouldn't. I agree. I think he's moved up enough, and I'm willing to get in at this price, knowing that it will be more expensive, and I'll fade it. I think I'm not going to be in on Devontae Smith anywhere inside the top 30. But Kyron went off right after us. Then Tet McMillan, T. Higgins to team 12. So they got a double Cincy. Maybe that was the plan all along. I don't hate it for team 12. And then they did take Cam Skywalker. I was hoping for Javonte Williams, honestly. I was really kind of hoping for that. So not ideal. I might get boxed out of running back, but I think we're gonna take our chances. I'll go Zay Flowers, and we've definitely been in many instances where we do still get Lamar Jackson to fall back in the late 5th. So maybe this is one of those days. Legend of Zelda does not fuck around, goes DJ Moore with Josh Allen. I think that's ultimately correct. I think DJ Moore is properly ranked in this 4th round tier. He usually goes in the 5th, and I think we have not fully accounted for his increase in price. So I like that for Legend of Zelda. Good luck, but I think you did not make a mistake by taking DJ Moore at pick 41. I'm fine with that. Sometimes it's worth pushing, but ultimately I think it's the right choice if you want to secure the stack. I don't think there's anything wrong with taking DJ Moore right there. But what's up, Jamie? How we doing? Hope you're having a good day. Saw your video posted on IDP Center recently. Check that out if anyone's interested. IDP Center, Jamie is linked to that channel, and they're putting out some good content. M. Stockton says, I've done 20 BBMs and have 1 top 2 pick. Tough luck. Tough sledding. Damn. At some point that will bounce back in your favor, but I'm sure it's not the most inspiring turn of events. I'm praying for you, Stockton. I wish you pull the 101 in your next entry, but game tight, completely ignoring the wide receiver position, taking 4 running backs and Trey McBride in the first 5 clicks. Going to be notable to see what happens. Not too many drafters in this lobby have like overcommit to running back, but we might see a big run on the position because there is team 10 with 3 of them, team 12 has 3 of them, and same with team 7. But for game type to have 4, that is notable. But DeAndre Swift goes off the board. I've been fine with DeAndre Swift. He is on the thumbnail. I think he's a great pick in the 5th round. And as much as I've kind of started to come around on the concept that Kyle Monangai will be okay, I still think DeAndre Swift is a smash pick where he's going. So I think I'm going to get it unless Legend of Zelda does snipe me. They go Quinshon. Damn, this is a pretty good price on Jalen Waddle, though. Not going to lie. It's tempting, but I think it's a little overkill. But it's 7 spots of ADP. I'm not willing to do it. I'm going to go Lamar for the stack. I've said many times on the channel, I think Lamar early 5th round is already too late. So to have Flowers and to pass is not something I like to do too often. You've seen me do it in the past, but sometimes it depends on the tournament. Like the last time we had a similar build was that Frenchie on Friday, and I had both CeeDee Lamb and Javonte. I had Derrick Henry and Zay Flowers. I did end up passing, though, on Lamar Jackson. I paired up Terry McLaurin at like pick 56, maybe 57 here, with Jaden Daniels. I pressed my luck on Lamar, and it didn't work out. So we'll do it today. But unlike that tournament, we have to finish top 2, and I do think having that elite quarterback that can be a difference maker is ultimately more valuable than the 4th receiver on this team. It's a good price on Waddle. I think structurally it's a little overkill. And as Pepper Tony says, a disciplined click. A little tough to make, but Waddle, I don't think helped this team as much as the Lamar Jackson, Zay Flowers combo. So sticking with my gut, sticking with my rankings, and I'm fine with it. But yikes. I would love a running back value here, but there's really nothing to be excited about. I'll go Jordan Tyson, but I feel like I'm going a little overkill on wide receiver up to this point. Like maybe I would like this team a little bit more with a Colston Loveland. Maybe I should have taken Kyron, but Angus is happy with Tyson. Tyson's pretty talented, got a good situation, and I do have a good stacking partner later on. We could have gone Jalen Hurts, but it felt a little overkill. I still have Dak as a stacking partner in the next round. He's probably going to be available unless he goes to the Pickens drafter. And then I can also stack up Omarion Hampton if I want with Justin Herbert. But Tyson pairs very well with Tyler Shuck. And from a value standpoint, that's probably the wise move to wait. But let me catch up with the chat. Pepper Tony, in regards to Devontae Smith, says it should already be priced in, but it would be double counted when it actually happens. I agree with this statement. I think we've already priced in the adjustment on Devontae Smith. And if it moves up any higher, I think it's a little overkill. But I just noticed in this draft, Team 3 got Neighbors at pick 27. That's pretty interesting. I'm a bit shocked by that. But otherwise, there's nothing like super crazy. Team 12 is kind of doing whatever the fuck they want. They took Scadaboo at 37. He wasn't making it back, so I guess. But Warren at 61, I think, is way overkill. Interesting to see that team at 3, they got the discount on Neighbors. They did stack up Herbert with Ladd McConkey. Maybe he's listening, but both of my stacking partners have gotten off the board, and that definitely saves me a decision to make. I'm not going to take quarterback in this round. That's for sure. If anything, I got to get back in at running back soon, and we'll see what happens. T-Law goes to Young Phil. This is a lobby that's really favoring the quarterback position. The prices are a little bit higher than I've seen recently, but Alec Pierce off the board. We'll go running back with confidence. Don't need DK Metcalf as the 5th receiver. I'll take Tony Pollard happily at pick 81. He's been going in the 6th round lately, so for him to fall here, I think is pretty valuable. ADP 76, and it has been rising. So I'll take that while I can get it. Kind of regret not drafting more Tony Pollard back in the pre-draft contest, but there was a lot of risks involved, and he's a little old. There's still part of me that feels like you want the backup in Tennessee, but ultimately, I don't think Tyjae Spears is going to be a big threat to him. I think Brian Dable can utilize multiple running backs effectively, and Pollard was really efficient. Like, I don't know if efficient's the right word. He was productive. Tony Pollard was productive. From a yards standpoint, he was delivering. From a floor standpoint, he was fine. He was not catching many passes, though. I hope that changes for him. I'm a little worried about that. But this is half PPR. I don't have to stress about it as much as I should in full PPR. And I do expect more touchdowns out of the Titans. I think their offense is going to take a big leap. They had a problem with coaching last year. They made significant upgrades in that department, and I do trust that their offense will be better. So I'll take Pollard in round 7. I'll go with my boy Rico Dowdle in round 8. And although I might not have the most compelling, the most competitive running back room, I think who I have from a value standpoint does keep my team afloat and in good shape. So far, I'm pretty satisfied with every click I've made. The Lamar Jackson one, I'm glad I stayed disciplined and passed on Jalen Waddle. Let me get back to the chat, though. Stay away from the voodoo Zug Zug. Yeah, I probably worth staying away, but I don't mind tarot cards. I'll tell you that. You're welcome, Jamie. Hope you're doing well. What's up, Troy Bayou Bengal FN? Check out his channel if you haven't done so already. Dope visual effects, great takes. Bayou's got a fun vibe. Check out his channel if you haven't done so. He was on the channel last week on Thursday, so you can check out the replay if you're interested. We drafted a couple good teams, and then we also went in on the Saints. The Saints hype is, I don't think, I think it's still under wraps, to be honest. I think some people are still sleeping on the New Orleans Saints, but 0 wide receiver build is fun. It's definitely not bad. You have Mekhi Lemon as your wide receiver 1 stacked up with Jalen Hurts. You took Purdy and Ricky Pearsall. Not bad, game tight. I imagine you're drafting at least 9 receivers on this team, but so far, not bad at all. If Trey McBride delivers like he did last year, then you are in excellent shape. I'm very curious to see how game tight lands the plane. But I'm sorry to let you down, Fido. I did not have time to hit the dispo today, and in all honesty, I've got a lot of shit going on. I actually think, damn, am I gonna gift Bo? I mean, yeah, I think I will. I think instead I'm just gonna take Matthew Golden. I think the breakout for Golden is pretty compelling. I do know Jordan Love is off the board already, but I'd be a bit shocked if all of the quarterbacks I think are good clicks here come off the board around this turn. Maybe I'm wrong, but I think this team is going to go Bo Nix. He has Waddle and RJ Harvey. Yep, that's a no-brainer. Did not want Bo Nix. Angus, his neighbors had a surgery announcement today that he cleaned up some scar tissue. I am still willing to believe that it's early enough. I'm not going to worry about it. I'm not going to worry about it with neighbors until we get to like July. And if he still has a lot of problems looming with his health, then maybe I'll start to worry. But at the moment, it's still May. You know what I'm saying? Like if somebody got hurt mid-season, odds are they're back in like 6 weeks, you know? So obviously he has a unique issue. Damn it. That team at 12 took Shuck from me. That's a bummer. Why'd he take Shuck? I guess he just likes him. Whatever. Shuck and Romeo Dobbs, be my guest. Okay, so yeah, exactly. Exactly. Bummer. I'm not gonna lie, that is a bummer. I'll go Worthy. Almost took Wandale and just set up the stack with Cam Ward, but I think we're just going to trust that I have a really dominant quarterback in Lamar Jackson, and there's not that many weeks where I'm actually going to be needing another player. So we're going to go heavy at wideout. I might take one more at a very low price, but for the most part, I am now essentially done at wide receiver. And if you are really paying attention, while maybe you can find a few diamonds in the rough, there are some players I like at receiver moving forward. There is a massive, massive tier break coming up at the position. Once you enter round 11, the receiver points are far, far less coveted, in my opinion. I don't think it's worth it. Now, maybe I went a little overkill. Maybe I should have taken a running back, given receiver as a big strength on my team. But I also value just being done at the position sometimes. And I definitely wasn't going tight end there. It was between like an unstacked Stafford and unstacked Baker, planning for some backstacks, or just like trying to develop a strength and lean into it. So taking away one more valuable piece. I'm sure the Mahomes drafter, Legend of Zelda, just got fucking pissed. No offense. I did not realize I was sniping you by one fucking pick. But I do think Worthy's a good click in this range. I think he's going a little too late. He has massive spike week potential. And from a wide receiver 6 on this team, that's really all I'm looking for. I'm looking for someone that can really explode in like 4 or 5 given games. And hopefully one of those lines up in the fantasy playoffs when all the money is made. Worthy could be a player you need. I don't think he has to be stacked. To take him, Wandale fell to 126. Damn, that's a good price on Wandale. I'll have to keep that in mind for the Cam Ward drafter. Yeah, I got shucked, Bukowski. Welcome in. Game Tight says news on Neighbors, but not big news. Yeah, I don't think that moves the needle very much on my ranking on Neighbors. I assume he will continue to get healthier as the weeks go by. But maybe today is a Jordan Mason click, but at the moment, Mark Andrews has very much survived free agency, and David Njoku and the draft. Andrews is pretty locked into production. Let's get a stack with Lamar Jackson. He feels like a good value here. And I've noticed he has been moving up the board. I think appropriately so. He is like fully entrenched in round 11 now. And I think that's fair. I think that's a pretty good spot. But Danimals has good start. Appreciate you. I'm trying to land the plane. I think so far we're in okay shape. And with Lamar, I'm not going to be upset if I wind up with like, terrible quarterback depth behind him. I think we can still piece it together. I'm not too upset with the quarterback snipes. It would have been nice to have Tyler Shuck on this team, but it's all right. Large Sneaks says, agree with Golden, think he will have a good year. There has to be a lot of momentum in the building to keep him viable and ready to take a leap. I think there's just too much invested in him and too many targets leaving the offense to argue against Matthew Golden. I think there's a world where he's better than Christian Watson, really. I'm not convinced he takes over as the wide receiver 1, but I do believe he's capable of accomplishing that when it's all said and done. Damn, I kind of want to go Jalen Coker, in all honesty, but I think I'm going to go Tyrone Tracy. I think Tyrone Tracy is the most like secure bet for actual points, and I'm willing to pass on quarterback again. Maybe I'm making a mistake, but I'll take running back before it like really just gets down to nothing but handcuffs that are a little worthless without injuries. So Tyrone Tracy, I think, locked into legit touches early in the season. Scattaboo still injured right now, so there's a lot of time left, but I do believe in the month of September they will be leaning on Tracy a little bit more, and I do feel fairly safe that I just know he's getting touches. I know for a fact he is getting touches pretty consistently every week. Now, maybe I should have taken Jordan Mason, but don't think Andrews would have circled back. And I'm fine with the decisions I've made. So far, so good. Pepper Tony says team is gas, to be honest. I'm liking it. Not many weaknesses. Running back could maybe be a little bit better. Quarterback is perfectly fire. We got the Flowers and Andrews combo. unless Lamar goes down, like there's really nothing bad about this team. I'm digging it. Lamar, Hampton, Tony Pollard, Rico Dowdle, Tyron Tracy, and then receivers fucking loaded with CeeDee Lamb, Devontae Smith, Flowers, Tyson, Golden, and Worthy. And so far, our only tight end is Mark Andrews, but I think we're in solid shape. Now, this is interesting. I'm curious if the Herbert drafter is going to pass on Gadsden again. Wow. Gadsden not interested in him to the team with Herbert. That's notable. JT saying, take Surratt to pair with Lamar. I've been thinking about the rookies they drafted. I think Surratt is probably the one I like the most. And they definitely have a lot going in that direction. But, man, Gadsden continues to fall. That's interesting. I might have to take him. Shit. Damn. Kind of tough to pass, honestly. But yeah, I think he's fallen enough. Let's go for it. Pick 153 on Oronde Gadsden. Boy, the mighty have fallen. But give me a Charger. I'm good with that. A bit of a crowded offense, but capable of really delivering. I like Njoku, but I don't think I like him enough to feel like he will overtake Gadsden. I feel like both of them should probably go 150, 160. I feel like both of them should kind of go in this range. So I'll take him at a big discount. He might continue to fall further, but I'm willing to do it. Best Ball Cabal, think I might have done the wrong thing, though. Says, I wouldn't take Gadsden until that Juwan Henry Strange trio leaves the board. Mr. Mufasa says, get your guys after pick 150, though. Business likes it. I think we are in business with this roster. I think this team is actually pretty solid. Daniel Jones goes, I would have liked Daniel Jones, but you know what? It is what it is. Today is going to be a Bryce Young team. Maybe I should have gone with Jalen Coker earlier, but I'm not going to panic. I'll go Bryce Young just to get in at quarterback. We need a second one, and I'm not going to be upset with this price on Bryce Young. I think it's fine. It's not stacked up. The Coker drafter might be mad. I've sniped Legend of Zelda maybe twice so far. Is this you? Legend of Zelda? I don't think so, but when the names don't correlate, sometimes I forget. I'm liking it. I think the team is coming together pretty nicely. Also, I feel like this board has moved really fucking quick. Maybe I'm wrong, but I feel like, what are we, 28 minutes into this draft and it's almost over? We do have 4 rounds left. I guess that's typical. Not too crazy, but I almost missed it. Yeah. What's up, Who Hames? Sorry, I almost missed you. Check out Who Hames' channel. Got a really dope channel. Great takes, great vibes, great fantasy contributor, and he's been on the channel multiple times. I think other than Angus, I think Who Hames is the only guest I've had multiple times on the channel so far, and I'm sure we'll have him back soon. We were on his channel for the 12-hour live stream. That was a really dope, really fun day, and I recommend, if you haven't checked out Who Hames' channel, to give him a look. Okay, I thought so, but I wasn't totally sure. Appreciate you reminding me. What's up, Olaf? Thanks for hopping in. Thanks, Pepper Tony. Thanks for the vote of confidence. We got a few rounds left, though. Running back is getting a little thin. I think I'll go Alvin Kamara. I've taken a shit ton of Deebo Samuel, but today I think I'll go Alvin Kamara. Yo, who is the tight end for the Panthers. Does anyone have any interest in Jatavion Sanders and Tommy Tremble? Like, are they that worthless? Because with Njoku not going there, yeah, I would favor Tommy Tremble personally as well. Maybe this is a Tremble team. Tremble with Fury. Perhaps that is the direction I will go. But I'm mostly just leaning on Lamar Jackson. Bryce Young is just an advanced piece, in my opinion. I don't think you have to be so worried about stacking every single fucking option. Like, it's good. It's not the end of the world if you don't, though. And if there's no one that really compels you to do it, I don't think it's the end of the world not to take him. But looks like J13 has drafted them a few times. I think I would lean Tommy Tremble. I've ranked Tommy Tremble a bit more consistently over the last 2 years than Jatavion. Yes. You know what? I might do Trevor Etienne with my final pick. Damn, Debo's still on the board. Maybe I go Debo. Shit. We got 3 clicks left. Nah, I'm going to go Trey Harris. We'll take another Charger. I can't quit my Chargers. It's an offense I want a piece of. I think the Chargers are a very live bet for the Super Bowl at the moment. I've been trying to temper my expectations, but that's ultimately how I've felt for a while, even down to last year. I felt pretty good about it, but I don't know about this, Bukowski. I think you might be blowing smoke up my ass on this one. It could be better. It could be a little better, but it is nice. I will say it is pretty nice. But what's up, Scott? Good afternoon to you as well. Thank you for hopping in. Yeah, this is definitely a bet. If you believe that this is possible, probably worth putting money down on it now, because I only think that those values for that are going to get worse. Thanks, Rock. Need a devil's advocate every now and then. I'm chilling, though. I'm happy with it. We could have gone Elijah Surratt for another stacking partner, but I think Trey Harris is better. I think the breakout for Trey Harris is higher. Anyways, we got CeeDee Lamb, Hampton, Devontae, Zay Flowers, Lamar Jackson, Jordan Tyson, Pollard, Rico Dowdle, Golden and Worthy, Andrews, Tyrone Tracy, Gadsden at 153, Bryce Young at 160, Alvin Kamara, Trey Harris with 2 clicks left. What's up, Garage? Hope you're doing well. Thank you for joining us today. I enjoyed your stream the other night with Goofy Chicken. That was a fun stream y'all had. Very good content. But Olaf says, how does Superflex affect values on other positions, i.e. tight ends? I think in Superflex, you got to be fading receiver as you move through the draft. There's just so much depth at the position. You want a good receiver, but you don't need 5 in the top 40. You know, I wouldn't be drafting a team like I did today in Superflex, where I'm taking Tyson as my wide receiver 4. That's a position you can really fade. You got to bump up quarterback dramatically. And then I really favor running back. Tight end, I think there's a range of the draft where they're really valuable, but it's not like the end of the world if you fade it. Typically speaking, it's not that big of a deal. Shit. I'm running out of time. I'm just going to take Tremble. Let's just get him. Put the card in. I kind of want to take him. For the first time ever, I take Tommy Tremble. We're getting a little different. And we're justifying the Bryce Young stack. Bukowski had an epiphany while planting peas and carrots today. Caleb Williams wins MVP. Bold take. I don't think it's egregious, but I don't know if I would put my money on that. He's going to be good. I think he will have like some top 5 hype, but I don't know if he's going to be MVP. I think at one point in his career he can do that, but until he throws for 4,000 yards, I'm not really compelled to put money on that. If I'm putting money on an MVP this year, it's probably Herbert. In regards to the leap I'm expecting, the value on the bet, it's probably good. And then, damn, Emmanuel Wilson calling my name. Whohames wants Sean Tucker. I am taking a running back here. I will say that. I am taking running back. No doubt about it. Question is which one? Emmanuel Wilson's still on the board. He will get some touches, but might fall off. You know what? I'm going to trust Whohames. Whohames, you sent this comment when the clock was at 4:20. You sent this comment exactly 2 minutes ago, and I'm gonna trust that that's a sign from the gods. We're going Sean Tucker with our final pick. All right, team is interesting. Team is very compelling. I'm pretty happy with it, and our receiver room is fucking loaded, and I think everything else is pretty deep and solid. Quarterback, we're trusting Lamar, and then on the weeks when he either is on bye or just, doesn't quite deliver, we are getting some points out of Bryce Young, who might spike for a random like 25, 30 pointer. But in general, this is just for the sake of advancing in terms of the value on the position. Didn't feel like I needed the best quarterback 2 in the world on this roster. But running back, we got our anchor with Omarion Hampton. We got a nice price on Pollard and my boy Rico Dowdle. So I'm pretty fine with the 3 that I have. Maybe it's not the best running back room you've ever seen, but I'm pretty good with it for the sake of the price tags and value. I think it comes together pretty nicely, and we'll get plenty of contributions. Early in the year, I think I get good production of Tyrone Tracy. If Scadaboo ever goes down again, which is not the worst bet to make, Tracy will be a top 20 play. So does have a lot of value. Got a little fall on him at 136. And then I took Alvin Kamara. He's not done yet, still capable of really contributing. And Bayou Bengal did kind of talk me off of the hype on Travis Etienne a little bit. Kamara still has something left in the tank. So going pretty late, a handcuff that can pop, can also catch like 8 receptions in one game and also deliver on like multiple touchdowns if anything happens to Travis. But Sean Tucker, our 6th, pretty good depth piece, and with some weird vibes on Bucky right now, probably a good click. All in all, in the final round, don't hate it. Wide receiver feels very, very strong, though. We got CeeDee Lamb, Devontae Smith, a stack with Zay Flowers, Jordan Tyson, Matthew Golden, Xavier Worthy, and Trey Harris. So the breakout probably going to hit for all 3 of these first-round picks this year. I do believe they have that very high ceiling capabilities, and I'm not really counting on them too much. I have really good production out of the top 3. If I get anything out of Trey Harris, it's the cherry on top, but he could be that breakout candidate in LA that really crushes on ADP. We got Mark Andrews for the stack, so very well correlated. Oronde Gadsden at the cheapest price I've seen. I think he'll probably settle in the 150s, but maybe not. Maybe he continues to stay in the 130s for a while. So took him, just couldn't pass him up at that discount. And then just to get unique, just to get a player that nobody else has, we take Tommy Tremble for the stack with Bryce Young. Probably irrelevant, not my most desirable click, but justified. And there have been some games where he has definitely delivered. Let's pull up some game logs on Tommy Tremble. Because I feel like some people have really no concept of his value. Like, unless you are watching my tight end rankings and going really deep into them, he's never really cracking my top 20. But he does have value. There is no doubt about that. So let me show you this tab right here. This is Tommy Tremble's Pro Football Reference page, and these are his career stats starting in his rookie season. Didn't do much at all his rookie year, only 1 touchdown. Took a while to do anything in year 2. Had 1 game with 6 targets, otherwise nothing special at all. But then his last 2 years, he has started to contribute from time to time. Most notably this game against Tampa Bay last year. 8 targets, 5 catches, and 77 yards. At the right time, that'd be opportune, but it might be worthless. Not likely to hit that often. He had a 54-yard game, 5 for 42 and a touchdown. That's pretty solid. Jatavian Sanders doesn't really have anything like this. So it might have been a wasted click. It's unique at the very least. Nobody else has it. Fine. We'll take it. That's the one click I don't feel great about on this roster, but everything else I felt pretty good about for the most part. We have a frost advisory tonight. Seeds will be fine. All transplants. What part of the country do you live in, Bukowski? You got a frost advisory in May? That's fucking crazy. I'm in LA. That's never fucking happening around my neck of the woods. But what's up, Jiri? Friend of the channel. Check out Jiri Football. So You Think You Can Tout contestant, and has a really, really good vibe. Great energy. Very positive drafter. Also drafts playing teams that fuck. We've drafted several teams before. He's been on my channel. I've been on his channel a couple times, and I'm sure we'll probably have Jiri back on the channel soon. I got a weird schedule this week, so I kind of opted against bringing in guests, but I'll let you know. I would be very happy to have Jiri back on the channel soon, Who Hangs back on the channel soon, and all of y'all who are in the chat with us today. Honestly, all y'all have been in my mental queue. Like the Garage, I'd love to have back on the channel. I'm forgetting some of the names that were in there earlier, but yeah, we'll definitely have some guests on back soon. Pretty much anyone who's been on the channel is also invited back at some point this summer. We got plenty of time to make that happen, but I'm not going to take Joe Mixon. I'm not going to do that. It's round 46 and this rookie startup, Joe Mixon, still available. Holy shit. Name 540 players you'd rather have than Mixon. I could probably get to 500. I don't know about 540. Yeah, Bucky, still a little concerning. Okay, gotcha. Yeah, definitely. You're in Minnesota. I've spent some time in Minnesota. Interesting that it's still frosty in May, but okay. That was probably the worst click of the draft. That was probably the worst one, but I can get away with it. Let's take a look at some other teams in here. We got Game Tight at the 101. This was probably the most unique draft of the lobby by far. He has Jalen Hurts and Brock Purdy, Bijan, Travis, Jadarian, and Bishal Tuten. He did get back in with Tank Bigsby. You know, I love Tank Bigsby, so I'm not going to shit on that too much, but might have been worth just stopping with 4. Good enough to stop at 4, but Bigsby is pretty valuable sometimes. Mekhi Lemon, Ricky Pearsall. Shaheed is the 3rd. Jawan Jennings is the 4th. Stribling stacked up. Tesla with Dontavian Wicks stacked up. Zachariah Branch and Christian Kirk. Yeah. I think that's the simplest way to go about it. Just call him Travis. And then tight end with McBride and George Kittle. Kittle is stacked up. Not bad. Not terrible. Just are these receivers going to get the job done? I don't know. You knew the risk you were taking when you embarked on this venture. Good luck, Game Type. If it works, you deserve to advance. If you can thread the needle and take the right receivers, I sure hope it works out for you. But we were also in here with young Phil. He has Trevor Lawrence, Matthew Stafford, Christian McCaffrey, Derrick Henry, Travion, Woody Marks, Charbonnet, and Braylon Allen. I hate these 3 running backs. I fucking hate these 3 clicks. Not going to lie. I never click Woody. I never click Sharbs. And I definitely don't take Braylon Allen. So best of luck to you. I think you're really counting on these 3, but you could also get away with just having those 3. Olave, Adams, Parker Washington, Sutton, McMillan, Naylor, Debo at 186, and Kayshon Boutte in the final round. Not a bad receiver room at all. Pretty legit, pretty good depth. Very, very good overall. Kyle Pitts and Jake Ferguson at tight end. That checks out. That's good enough. No complaints. Just don't like these 3 running backs. Good luck making the playoffs. If Sharbs is the key piece, then you deserve to win. If drafting Charbonnet is really who you need, congrats. But you did get him at a nice price. 175, I will acknowledge, is probably a more compelling decision. But nobody drafted Emmanuel Wilson in this one until pick 211. I think we should be taking Emmanuel Wilson over Zach Charbonnet. That's my personal take on that backfield. We also had Legend of Zelda in here, and then I'll hop into another draft after this. Legend of Zelda was right in front of us, and I did snipe him a couple times. Let's see how it turned out. He has Allen, Mahomes, and Tua. I don't love taking 3 quarterbacks when I go with Allen, but it is round 17. It's probably just fine. It's probably fine. Running back has Kenneth Walker, Quinshon Judkins, Chris Rodriguez at 104, Tyler Algier at 161. Holy shit. Algier used to go in the 80s. It's pretty crazy how far Algier has fallen. But Emmett Johnson, 176, and then Ray Davis in the final round. Not bad at all. Amon-Ra, DJ Moore, Alec Pierce, Jaden Higgins, Jalen Coker. Coker is the 5th. I think kind of saves you a little bit. Pick 137 is pretty solid. And then Trey Tucker, Ryan Flournoy. Pretty okay receiver room. Great up top, but the depth kind of thins out once you hit Higgins. Probably going to be okay, though. And then you have Tyler Warren, Dalton Kincaid. You did not get Daniel Jones, but you do have 2 Colts pass catchers. Not bad. The price on Pierce is pretty solid. I think Coker kind of saved you. I am not going to lie. Part of me kind of regrets passing on Coker, knowing I ended up with Bryce Young. But had I taken Coker, then I would have had to go running back instead of Trey Harris, and running back was completely decimated at that point. So I think there's a world where Trey Harris is more valuable than Coker at the end of the day. So despite the valuable stack, I don't think I made the wrong choice. I think actually I'm very happy with my Tyrone Tracy click in hindsight. But Best Ball Berserker says, trade me. I wish we could, man, but I think I'm good with my team, all in all. What's up, David? Hope you're doing well. Thank you for joining us. What's up, Hartman? Hartman's been on the channel. Check out Hartman as well. And then Huhaim says 175. I'd mix Charbonnet in, not at 155. That's a fair point. He did at least get the discount. If I am going to take Charbonnet, it's going to have to be discounted, like he got him here at 175. So maybe I'm shitting on it too much, but I ultimately do not take Woody Marks, Zach Charbonnet, and Braylon Allen. Jerry, though, loves Woody Marks. He's one of his boys. I know he's faded Skid Marks a little bit more more recently since they got Montgomery. But yes, we are definitely getting another draft, and I will give y'all a countdown. If y'all want to hop in with me, I think we're going to do another puppy. I have only done 27 puppies so far, and it's more than like 60% full. So I'm definitely behind in my pacing for the puppy. So I think for the most part, I will be doing puppies on the live stream most of the time, unless y'all like really ask for it. But I am just pulling it up on my phone just to make sure we're ready when the location error comes in. I fully expect it. So I'm getting ready. I hope you're ready. If y'all want to join, I will be drafting in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's go. 7 spots left. Gonna be full of friends and family. Another tough lobby to exit. I think my chances were okay in that last one. I don't know if I'm a lock to advance. I feel pretty good. I have a good team, but we didn't review every single team. As long as I don't suffer a bunch of injuries, I think I'm going to be okay. I think so. But we pulled a 107, so a little similar. Yo, Jiri hopped in this one. So did Huhames. Fuck. Fuck. This is gonna be tough. All right. Yeah. Thanks for making it tough, man. But it's fun to draft with y'all, so I appreciate it. And it's not my money up for grabs. I got the site credit at the moment still, so at least I'm not losing any money with today. But boy, this will be interesting. We got Sweetleaf at pick 2, Game Tight at pick 3, Danimal at pick 4, JT Alford at pick 5. I don't know if I've drafted with Amped Phil at pick 6 or the parlay at the 101. But then behind me, we got Huhames, very sharp drafter. UCF Jaguar, I don't recognize. I think I've drafted with Barkilo before. And then we got Hoodie D at pick 11. That is Jiri in the 11 spot. And then Chico Shake as well. Gonna be interesting. Let's go, though. I'm here for the smoke. I'm not afraid. I just kind of wish I didn't have pick 7. That's all. Not my favorite spot to be in at pick 7, but fuck. They out here snitching. They with the rat pack. Fa! I got that shit stuck in my head. I got the fa! Just like almost like on a loop sometimes in my mind. But Huhaim says Woody is a great pick now. He's definitely better than he once was. Better than he once was. I'm still not in love with it. I'm not a believer that he can score many touchdowns. And I still don't really click it too often. I'd rather pull up like Isaiah Pacheco or even Brian Robinson before I'm taking Woody Marks. I'm not going to lie. That's my take on it. I'm not keen on popping Woodies as Jiri. As Jiri has coined the phrase, I'm not one to pop Woodies as often in best ball. At least in best ball. Maybe tomorrow, large sneaks. Maybe we'll get in one. But I don't think I have time for a third draft today. I got to drive across town, across LA, and traffic's a real bitch. So not sure I have time for the third one. I got to up my exposure by 2% with that nickname. Skid Marks is fun to say. I will say Skid Marks is fun to say. Best Ball Cabal, not a Woody bull, but I will certainly bet $1 that Monty doesn't suit up for 15 games. That's probably a fair estimate. There's going to be some opportunity for Woody, but even when he had it, I don't know. He had like one good game last year and then was just so fucking terrible on the goal line. Damn it, Huhames. Leave me my boy. I mean, I'm fine with Derrick Henry, but leave me Hampton just for the hell of it. You know? Let me pray for once and be rewarded, but this is not an easy lobby here. So BC Rock says, I missed the lobby. However, I did get first pick in your lobby. Good luck there. I'm sure that's a valuable spot to be in a different lobby. I know someone drafted after this one. Are you going live after this, Huhames? I don't think I caught you earlier, so that would probably check out. That's my guess. But a reminder: subscribe to Huhames, subscribe to Jiri, subscribe to Hartman, Subscribe to, I'm just scrolling up the chat trying to find y'all's comments. Fantasy Football Garage. I'm scrolling deep now, but I'm trying to find all y'all. Subscribe to Jamie, IDP Center, and the Going for Two podcast. Subscribe to Best Ball on Call. And then subscribe to Bayou Bengal as well. I was looking for you. There he is. Okay. Nothing crazy so far in the first round. This is the second draft in a row. We do see Chase Brown at pick 13. That's kind of notable. But Game Tight goes with 3 straight receivers: Jamar Chase, Drake London, T. Higgins. I have a feeling he's getting sniped by Chico Shake on Joe Burrow. That's my guess. I am on the clock. Okay. Sure. I'll take Pickens, pick 31. I'm not going to let him go to UCF Jaguar with CeeDee Lamb. I'll tell you that. That's not happening. Give me Pickens at pick 31. Sweetleaf is the one who started the Poppin' Woodies. All credit to him. Well, Sweetleaf is drafting with us, so we will give Sweetleaf the props for Poppin' Woodies. I blame the Texans O-line naively. I think that's correct. The Texans O-line fucking sucks. They fucking suck. But David saying they put me in a different lobby. Good luck. Yeah, I'm not going to panic. I was kind of always expecting Pickens to fall over the course of the summer. I was kind of always expecting him to be in a little bit of a what's the word? Holdout, given his frustration with the contract they gave him. But behind Breece Hall, behind Kyron, behind T. Higgins as well. That's don't see that too often. I'll mix him in at this price for sure. Ladidi goes, bummer. I don't have much Garrett Wilson, but he's usually going on like the true like right side of the board. I have noticed he's been falling lately, but Pickens almost like exclusively goes on the left side of the board. So to be in the middle and to get both of them, not going to be the most common pairing. I'm not saying I'm the only one that has it, but it's not that common. So he's talented enough to be worth a 4th round pick. Not in love with the Garrett Wilson price, but ultimately the unique nature of it, top of ADP with a nice fall on the last two receivers, a unique combo with Pickens and Garrett Wilson. I'll move on to live another day, but Game Tight does not fuck around. He goes Burrow at 46, doesn't even take him 51. You can do what you want, Game Tight. I would have waited 5 picks. I would have gotten my preferred running back there and then just waited for Burrow, because Burrow is much more likely available at pick 70 than 51. Like I would have just taken him 51. But you get your guy, and for the sake of the team build, you definitely needed him. You definitely needed Burrow. So Love and Hurts, better quarterback room or karaoke song? I'm not a huge fan of that song. It's okay. I would say it's a better quarterback room. The song is kind of mid. It's okay, but damn it, Sweetleaf takes DeAndre Swift. I'm not getting the good luck of the thumbnail. I'm not getting Swift to pick 55 today. That'd been nice. But Whoham says I need more Hampton and Ladd teams. I got a ton of them. I'll tell you that. I got a shit ton of them. Game Tight goes Lamar at 51. All right. Lamar goes Joe Burrow and Game Tight goes Joe Burrow and Lamar Jackson. Says I need a cannabis hit. I'm sorry, bro. I'm sorry, bro. I don't have any. Didn't have time to stop today. Damn it. Am I really taking Bucky Irving at pick 55? I think so. I think I have to. That's a pretty steep fall there. But Who Hames gets his boy Scadaboo. Scadaboo might be a better pick, but Scadaboo's also injured at the moment. And this is the lowest price I've seen on Bucky. Part of me feels like it was still wrong. I kind of feel like I made a mistake there. The room knows something, and maybe it's egregiously cheap, but fuck it. We ride in Tampa with Bucky Irving. But Jets drafted a receiver and a top tier tight end, gave Brees an extension. Not good for Wilson. I mean, it's not ideal, but I don't think anyone is taking the job away from Garrett Wilson. You know, like they gave him a big contract extension. They don't have any other fucking wide receivers really. So I think he's talented enough not to worry too much about the volume going elsewhere. He is still, I think, their alpha receiver. But it's the Jets. Ultimately, it's the Jets, and it's not that compelling. But he was really playing well before he got hurt last year. He had like 4 touchdowns in 6 games. But Who Hames takes Drake May. Shit. I'm just taking the values at this point. I'm not really doing anything that they like. Literally none of these picks. I have scrolled down. I've taken top of ADP with literally every single fucking pick. Didn't expect that when I saw who was in this lobby with us, but Who Hames says, I think in puppies, still avoiding Bucky makes sense, but in BBM, this could be the lowest price if you care about that. Well, I think I'm going to push back on that, Who Hames, because I'm not convinced that Bucky is going to keep falling. So I think it's the opposite. The puppy is going to fill, by the end of the month, if not like the end of the week, potentially. Give it a week. I think the puppy will be at like 90% probably. So if anything, if Bucky continues to fall, then this could be the lowest price as well. I think at the very least, it's probably like an appropriate price. I think in the tier of all the 5th rounders, I definitely think Bucky's better than Chuba Hubbard. That's for sure. And then all the running backs in this range are kind of like in the same tier, all kind of similar to one another. So I'm fine with it at this price. I'm not going to take him in the 4th at 42, but at 55, I think it's okay. But for the sake of the time box of this contest, if let's say hypothetically he falls into the 6th, that's probably not going to happen for another month at the very least. I might be wrong, but at 55, I mean, I did it. I'm comfortable pulling the trigger on Bucky Irving there. But I am back on the clock. I think the click is very overwhelmingly in the direction of Dak Prescott. We got Pickens at a really good price. Quarterback in round 7 is my preferred direction to go. And so I will stack him up with George Pickens at pick 79. But what's up, Young Moolah? Another great content creator. Check out GAB for Life here on YouTube and Twitter. And he's been on the channel. Those were some fun teams. Young Moolah in the house. But Best Ball Cabal says, I'm scooping up Cooper shares. Yak Monster incoming. Cooper. The only Cooper I'm thinking of is Cooper Kupp. There's Amari Cooper. He's retired. There's Cooper Kupp. What? Am I forgetting about someone named Cooper? My mind is drawing a blank. I'm not going to lie. I feel like there's someone really obvious. Oh, okay. Yeah, there we go. There we go. Duh. Yeah. He's okay. I just hate the landing spot. Like, I really wish he went anywhere but the fucking Jets. As long as it wasn't the Browns or the Jets, I would have loved his price. But I drafted him a shit ton, and I've just not been able to stomach it as much. He's good though. He's very good, very talented. But you got to bank on garbage time. Sadiq is there. A.D. Mitchell is there. Garrett Wilson's there. Breece Hall is there. But maybe they have a shit ton of garbage time. I'm assuming Hames takes Herbert there. Yeah, he does. He has a double stack. I probably need wide receiver depth. And my preference here is Quentin Johnston, I believe. Yeah, I'll do that. Give me QJ at pick 90. I'm good with that. Yeah. Jonathan Brooks is going late and a good deal. He is looking good and appears ready to go. People have forgotten him. He's been moving up the board consistently. If you were drafting in the pre-draft contest, you could get Jonathan Brooks in the 160s, if not 170s. I was taking him a shit ton down there. Now that it's in round 11, like top 125, I guess it's still pretty achievable to get, but I've actually been sniped a lot on Jonathan Brooks lately. It's not as easy as you are making it sound. But round 11 is still probably a good deal. If he ever does beat out Chuba Hubbard like we are kind of expecting, then it is a compelling click. I think he is very valuable. I'm drafting Jonathan Brooks way more than Chuba Hubbard. But at times, I also mix in Trevor Etienne, 4th-round pick from last year. Didn't do much at all as a rookie, really nothing. Rico Dowdle kept him off the field. And if Brooks gets hurt again, I am not convinced that Chuba Hubbard will deliver. I do mix in Trevor Etienne. I might be one of the only guys in the streaming community that is consistently drafting Trevor Etienne in the final round. But that's an okay point. I just worry about touchdown production. I want to try and chase touchdowns, and the Jets offense is just not going to have many. But Myers circled back. That's not a bad price on Jacoby here. There's several options. Fine. I'll go Jacoby Myers. Pretty consistent, steady Eddie type of guy. Has the same ADP as Quentin Johnston. He was at the top ADP when I took QJ, so maybe it's a slightly more difficult combo to get at this point in time. Hames goes with Kyle Pitts. Pitts is all right. There's still part of me that feels like he's going to let us down, though. But Hames got his double-double with Justin Herbert. And Young Moolah says, y'all remember to smash the like and subscribe to our guy Nice and Blunt. Appreciate the shout, my dude. Appreciate you, GAB for life. Thank you, Young Moolah, for reminding everyone. Boom, says Bayou. They out here snitching. They with the Rat Pack. Fire! Cracks me up every time. Okay. I don't feel the urgency to draft a quarterback here. Baker makes sense, though. He gets sniped. Not the best outcome. The last team we drafted was pretty heavy on wide receiver. I think I'm going to do it again. And we get Golden at 114. Fuck it. Fuck it. Running back, we invested early. We got 3 running backs in the first 5 rounds. We are now currently sitting at 6 receivers and our quarterback with Dak Prescott. I'm chilling. I think this team is pretty good, pretty solid. And there's a lot of volume going to our wideouts. There's a lot of volume going to our running backs. They're old and potentially injury prone. But if they deliver, then we're in business. The running back health, I think, is the only problem with this team. It's the only thing that makes me a little unsettled so far. But a 1-3-6-0. I've been trying to... By round 11, I've been trying to be close to done, or at least have 5 receivers by round 11. But if I can have 6 by the 10th, then I'm going to feel really excited about it. And I know that the remainder of the draft, there's so many receivers that I'd much rather just pass on for the most part. There are still some great values. There are still some great options, but there's a lot of projection involved, a lot of things that you just can't quite guarantee. And I'm okay with it. Not going to need receiver very much down the stretch here, but I would have taken Mason there had he been on the board, but he's not. Instead, I'm going to go with a Dak Prescott combo. I'm going to take Jake Ferguson. Don't draft him too often, but with Dak and Pickens, definitely justified to get another stacking partner. I will go Jake Ferguson, but I'm not totally convinced that this is like the best spot to take him. I think his price is here because of the Dak combo, but I think he can fall into the 12th and still maybe into the 13th. I think he should really go in like the 140s. Jake Ferguson, not my most exciting click. Not going to lie. But absolutely, Bayou. We do have a good community. A lot of good, nice people. Just everyone genuinely trying to have fun. And it's been a pleasure to meet some of y'all and really everyone. Not just some of y'all, all of y'all. And make content. Very fun. Sure, Huames. I don't buy that. Okay. McMillan and Diggs go. Diggs at 133. People are wising up on Diggs. I'm glad I got in heavy in the 160s, 170s. A-Chain got paid. I'll take a look at his contract. I mean, he's their only player that you can trust. So come on, Huames. Don't snipe me. Please don't snipe me on Cam Ward. Please leave him. Leave him alone. Thank you. I have Carnell Tate on this team. I'm definitely taking Cam Ward as my QB2. I got to be avoiding the wide receivers for a bit. But 4 years, 64 mil. That's 16 mil per year. That's pretty good. That makes him a top 5 paid running back. Damn. Good for him. I don't know if he's going to put up top 5 numbers this year, but good for A-Chan. It's fun to see someone struggle with the autocorrect sometimes. A good laugh. Thank you, Bayou. Ah! But we took Tyron Tracy on the last team. I was a little compelled to maybe maybe take him again, but I think Cam Ward made a lot of sense on this team. You know, honestly, I almost took Wandale over Golden just to lock up the double stack and just prevent anyone from sniping him from me. But let's just get ahead of Danimal, who has Wandale. Let's prevent that stack from sniping us. And with Cam Ward, I'm pretty excited about Cam Ward's potential. I already liked him a lot before they drafted Cam Ward. It's going to be pretty good for the #1 overall pick from last year. He had a phenomenal season. Damn it, Gadsden's still on the board. I'm not going to take him twice in a row. I think I'm just going to let him fall, but I want to see what Huhames does here. I want to see if Huhames takes him just for the discount on price. Amped Phil, though, takes matters into his own hands. Damn, Malik Willis is still available. I never take him, but it's kind of calling my name a little bit. I'm not going to lie. Not the worst. Fuck it. Fuck it. I'll take him today. I never take Malik Willis. So if I'm going to take him, got to be at a discount. Pick 151 and an ADP of 132. About 20 picks discount on Malik Willis. In theory, it's not that big of a deal because Cam Ward has a later ADP. So in theory, I could have just taken Malik Willis at 138, Cam Ward at 151. But no, Danimal was going to take Ward from us. So that was the only way to get this combination. And I only had Dak. I was contemplating taking Geno, but I never liked taking Geno. So we'll go Malik Willis. Unstacked is fine on Malik. But this is where I think he really should be going. I think he should be going after Daniel Jones and Cam Ward. So this lobby with the correct decision, I think, passing on him for a considerable amount of time. Sorry, Huhames, not today. I needed him a little bit more than you did. Just a little bit more. So quarterback is done. I got Dak stacked up, Cam Ward stacked up, and an unstacked Malik. Running back is thinning out. Yikes. I got CMC, Henry, and Bucky Irving, and it's getting rather thin pretty fast. So I got to get back in before I get completely screwed over. Or as Bayou would say, fisted before that happens. Of all the comments to pull up to make that comment. I'm glad you just have an individual ass comment by you. Back in my day, we just stuttered. Last year, Bishal Tootin got auto-corrected to cuteness. I'm drafting cuteness. Jiri says, we are landing this plane, been enjoying the more extreme builds recently. Let's take a look at Jiri's team. He has Genty, Saquon, Javante, Tet, and Jadarian Price with Brian. He goes Brian Thomas. Oh, he gets sniped on Parker Washington. Holy shit. Holy shit. Don't see that too often from Jiri. I'm sure that kind of pained him to see Parker off the board there. But then he goes Jaden Reed, Chris Godwin. So the receiver room is pretty loaded. It has Jordan Love, Michael Pittman at 110. Fuck. Rashid Shaheed, Sam Darnold, Chig Okonkwo getting chiggy with it. And then Bryce Young for that Tet stat. I like your team, Jiri. I think it's coming together well. But Combi says, been here for 5 minutes. Already love it. Thank you for subscribing, brother. The vibes are good today. I'm having a good, fun stream. And we got some fun names drafting with us. This has been a fun stream. Not gonna lie, I'm very happy I went live a little early today. Yesterday we were super late in the evening, so missed out on some of those East Coast viewers. But today's fun, having a good time today. And honestly, our first team was pretty dope. I'm liking this team as well, and it's the second team in a row where we've drafted 6 wideouts for the first 10 rounds. And I think it's coming together. But Algier at 162 from a talent standpoint, definitely worth it. I only have one tight end so far, and it's Jake Ferguson. Yikes. Shit. Not the best spot to be in, but I'll just get back in at running back. I'll take my boy. I'll take Tank Bigsby because there's no way y'all are letting him circle back. And I'm getting a little thin at that position. In terms of options, there's not many I like remaining. So I'll just take my boy in round 15 all day. Give me Tank Bigsby. It's all or nothing with Bigsby, but he was given number 8 single digit for a backup running back. That's definitely a good sign. Howie Roseman never makes a bad move. Trust in the best GM in the league. Saquon getting older. Saquon has been injury prone. And when he did go down last year, Tank Bigsby was a 20 touch type of player. We love the Eagles offensive line, and they should have a more competitive offense this year with a new upgraded offensive play caller. AJ Brown leaving, they might lean on the run a little bit more, which even if they don't mix in Bigsby to start the year, that means more touches for Saquon, more of a chance for him to get hurt. And if the Eagles somehow collapse, maybe down the stretch, we get Bigsby as the starter. And if that's the case, that's going to be a top 10 play at the position. So I am very, very in on Tank Bigsby. He's been my boy all offseason so far. I started streaming at the beginning of February, and we have never let up on the Tank Bigsby call. He is not moving up high enough, in my opinion. He should be going where Isaiah Pacheco. I think Tank Bigsby is more valuable than Zach Charbonnet. Brian Robinson finally moving up appropriately. I think Tank Bigsby is the next best click after B-Rob. I did take Tyler Algier ahead of him, but that's just knowing the price on Bigsby, knowing that he's usually there and available. So, so far, I'm liking the team. We got a 3-5-6-1. And our tight end room is a little thin, but it's always the position that you can get back in at any point in time. But I'm curious to see if Huhames goes with David Njoku here. He has Herbert, he has Ladd, he has Hampton. He did not get the fall on Gadsden. Gadsden went at 150, so 2 picks before him. He went Woody Marks instead. But I'm curious to see what happens here. Huhames, I'm letting you know right now, if you do not take Njoku, he is not making it back to you. Njoku will be off the board at 199 if you do not take him. And thank you for taking him. I didn't want you to snipe me on Gunnar Helm. This is really what I wanted. For the most part, I needed Gunnar Helm badly for the sake of the stack. I think Njoku's also valuable here. I would love to have both, but at least I'm okay with Gunnar Helm. But Marvel Rivals LA, first time catching you live. You got my sub. Thanks for joining, man. I'm also from LA, at least the city. Maybe this is a reference to Louisiana, but anyone from LA that watches the channel, they are elite in my book. There are not that many diehard fantasy football fans I run into in LA. I'll tell you that. So appreciate you for hopping in. Thank you for subscribing, and anyone who's watching, anyone who's enjoying the content today, consider subscribing. It is the easiest way to support the channel other than liking the live stream. And I haven't checked the likes. I'm trying to not ask for likes as much. I'm kind of trusting that y'all will hit the button appropriately. But why is Flournoy going up 22 spots in the past week? I have not noticed that. Flournoy goes pick 180 in this one. Maybe Chico just really likes him and knows that I have Dak, doesn't want him to get sniped. As his wide receiver 6, probably felt compelled to that position and maybe just didn't like another player. But typically I see Ryan Flournoy in the 200s, usually at least like late 190. So this is a unique price on Flournoy. But you have to keep in mind that the team that took him is at pick 12. And when you're at pick 12 or pick 1, even pick 11 or 2, when you're near the bookend, you got to wait so fucking long for them to make it back to you. It's worth just getting your guy. Ultimately, I think it's worth it. But I'm going to go Chris Bell out of Miami. We got the nice fall on Malik Willis, and I do think Chris Bell is a really talented player. Chris Bell reminds me of my take last year on Torrey Horton. a guy that fell in the draft due to injury, but is way more talented than I think he was given credit for in terms of draft capital. And the Dolphins are a good landing spot in terms of target share. I'm not worried about Malik Washington keeping him off the field. I'm not that worried about free agents being a problem. I'm only worried about Chris Bell not staying healthy. And for the receiver room I have, I'm not going to panic. I'm pretty happy with him as my wide receiver 7. Not expecting many contributions, but stacks up nicely. And I do think he has a chance to break out in a big way. So I'll go Chris Bell. And the only weakness I have on this team is tight end. My tight end room is not great. No sugarcoating it. I have Ferguson and Gunnar Helm. Now, they're both stacked. Could be worse. Am I really going to do it? I don't want to, but I wanted Terrence Ferguson. Who Hames takes him. And then there's no like running back that I'm like really dying for. Yeah, I think I need the third tight end. We're going to go with a 3-5-7-3 today. And we have all 3 tight ends stacked up with our quarterbacks. Not a quarterback room I find myself drafting too often, especially the Malik Willis click. That's not happening too often. I only take Dak when he's stacked up. I think Dak is actually going a little high for my liking. I'd much rather have Justin Herbert unstacked than take Dak Prescott unstacked. So I don't take Dak if I don't have Pickens or CeeDee Lamb. And usually if I have Pickens, it's on the left side of the board, and I'm usually not taking Dak at pick 74. I'm usually taking a running back over Dak Prescott. I'll reach on Herbert happily. And often when I have CeeDee Lamb, like the last draft, we get sniped on the Prescott combo. So I don't have that much Dak Prescott. I don't think you've seen me take him too often. But Cam Ward, I do take a shit ton, and I'm happy to have him with Carnell Tate today. Malik Willis, I never take. I was planning to go Geno Smith, but ultimately I think getting Malik at that price was worth it. But I did miss out on some good tight ends. Maybe I should have gone with tight end there instead of Malik. But all right, let's recap the team. It's all going to come down to whether or not Christian McCaffrey and Derrick Henry stay healthy and keep me afloat. But maybe we're wrong on fading Bucky Irving. Maybe he's going to be a smash pick and really does carry me. But this is an interesting, unique team, and I'm excited for it. I'm here for it today, but it's not that similar to other teams I've drafted. We have Dak Prescott, Cam Ward, and Malik Willis, as mentioned. CMC, Henry, Bucky, Algier, and Tank Bigsby. Not bad. Only 5. It's going to come down to health with the veterans. But George Pickens at 31, really nice price, paired up with Garrett Wilson at 42. Feels like a relatively unique pairing to have. And I'm coming around to Garrett in the 4th round. I think he's fine alongside the other guys in that range. But Carnell Tate stacked up at 66. That feels great. That feels excellent. Quentin Johnson, I think, is a very good click in the 8th round or 9th. I took him in the 8th. Jacoby Myers fell to me in round 9, pass pick 100. I think that's a very safe decision. And then Matthew Golden in the next round, also a really nice fall. My receiver room feels phenomenal. And then Chris Bell, we take him to stack up with Malik Willis. But one Mike Laz is asking thoughts on Chris Bell versus Caleb Douglas. I'm a Chris Bell fan. I would much rather have Chris Bell than Caleb Douglas. But I haven't done enough digging on Caleb Douglas to have a firm, solid, established take. There's a world where I'm fading him too much. But at the moment, if I'm going to draft one before I get the camp reports, it's going to be Chris Bell. I think he's more talented than Caleb Douglas. But tight end, a little bit tricky. Not the end of the world, though. Probably going to be fine. All stacked up with Ferguson, Helm, and Dulcich. Not the best tight end room I've ever seen, but not bad. I think the team is fine. I think the team is good. I think the team can compete, but this was a tough lobby. We'll see. Let's recap some teams. I'm going to go in reverse order, starting with pick 12 this time, and I'll try to get to everyone, but if you were in the last draft, I might skip over you for the sake of time. Chico Shake was drafting with us at pick 12, and he has Caleb and T-Law, James Cook, Chase Brown, Rico, and Kenneth Gainwell, Brian Robinson, Sean Tucker. Great running back room, good quarterback room. Olave, Parker Washington, Romeo Dobbs, Jalen McMillan, Stephon Diggs, Ryan Flournoy, Zachariah Branch, and Malik Washington. Very solid clicks. A big reach on Parker, though. I hope you're right. For the sake of my bet with Jiri, I hope you're wrong, though. I have a bet with Jiri that Brian Thomas will outscore Parker Washington straight up. Loser has to pay for a $100 bigger board, and I fucking hope that you're wrong on Parker there. But the receiver room in totality is pretty strong. A little thin, though, in terms of like established depth. I just hope you got the right names. A little tricky, though. Colston Loveland and Juwan Johnson. So you got Loveland stacked up with Caleb. Yeah, it's just the receiver depth that's a little hard to bet on, but 8 total. You got the volume, and if Diggs is the Raiders wide receiver 1, you're in business. I think you're kind of counting on that a little bit, though. Good luck. Team is not bad. Out of 12, the 12 slot's not always easy. So good job. Good luck at receiver. But Jiri was at pick 11. Let's see what he did with fading quarterback. Only 4 running backs on this build. Let's take a look. He has Jordan Love, Sam Darnold, and Bryce Young. And then at running back, he has Genty, Saquon, Javonte, and Jadarian. Wide receiver has Tet, BTJ, Jaden Reed, Chris Godwin, Michael Pittman, Shaheed Ridley, and Darnell Mooney. For a team with 4 running backs in the first 5 rounds, this is the first one I've ever seen where I'm saying you might not need that 8th wideout. I kind of like the team enough where you don't need Darnell Mooney. It shocks me to say this, but fuck, Jiri, this is a good team. Chigo Konko, AJ Barner, and Mike Gesicki. Tight end is always a position you can fade and get away with. Some good options. Darnold is stacked up with Shaheed and Barner. Jaden Reed is stacked up with Jordan Love. And then as long as these 2 are the correct choices, then fuck. This is a good team, Jiri. Very impressed with the fragile build at running back. Shockingly, I think you could have taken a 5th running back and just stopped at 7. You have good enough receivers. I think you could have actually gotten away with it, but I completely understand taking the 8th. All right, that's going to be an interesting team. Barkilo says, Mike really likes the team at 10. Not sure if that's you, Mike, but we'll take a look at team 10 with Brock Purdy, Kyler Murray. That's solid. Achane, Tootin, Warren, and Sharbs. So also goes 4 running backs. This is not the way to do it. With Charbonnet as the 4th, fuck that. No, thank you. Way too fragile. Jefferson, Devontae, Flowers, Waddle, Addison, Jawan. So a triple stack with Kyler on this one. And then Tesla, Tyreek Hill. I don't know if you needed the 8th wideout. The top 7 feel good enough, but Tyreek in the final round, pretty solid. And then 4 tight ends with Kincaid, Likely, Schultz, and Stowers. You don't need Stowers. Just take a 5th running back, bro. Just take a 5th RB. It's a little unnecessary to have Stowers as the 4th. Receiver room is great. Quarterback room is good enough. You need a 5th running back. Charbonnet as the 4th. Nah. Almost made it, but I don't think it's going to work. But maybe he's healthier than I give him credit for. Maybe it does work out. Who knows? UCF Jaguar. Not sure if you're watching, but let's take a look at your roster. Has Josh Allen, Baker Mayfield stopped at 2. Very justified to do that. Kenneth Walker, Quinshawn, RJ Harvey, C-Rod, and Jonah Coleman. I'm not clicking Coleman, but falls to pick 160. So at least a discount, a little bit more palatable, but 2 Broncos running backs. I guess I'm not in love with it, but the running back room feels good enough to tolerate it and get away with. So not going to complain too much, but don't love the Coleman click. At least it's at a major discount though. That's fine. We got CeeDee Lamb and Igbuka, Christian Watson, Michael Wilson, Shakir and Ayuk. Gross. Ted Hurst and Skylar Bell. So some rookies stacked up. Shakir and Igbuka stacked up. Don't love the Ayuk click, but you have 8 in total, and the early ones are good enough. The rookies can pop. pretty solid. Fair risk on Ayuk on this team. Don't hate it in context. And then Goddard, Strange, and Kate Otten. Very good tight end room. Yeah, this is a good team. The Coleman and Ayuk click are my only complaints, and you can absolutely get away with it. So good job. Good job, UCF. Good team. Let's take a look at Who Hames, who has a mega stack with Herbert. Also has Drake May and Rodgers at 161. Do you have a fucking stack, Who Hames? You better have a stack here. You have Jeremy Bernard, so you get away with it. But you gave me some shit last week for taking Rodgers, wanting to take Rodgers unstacked at like pick 200, bro. I find this kind of funny. Hampton, I think it's a great click, though. I love it, but I find that kind of funny, given the shit you gave me a week ago. Hampton, love it. Scattaboo at 56, I like it. Ramondre at 80, probably worth it with Drake May, probably fine. And then you like Woody. I'm not in love with it, but I understand the argument. And then Mike Washington, it sounds like Kubiak's going to give him a role. He wants to have more of a committee. So from the handcuff standpoint alone, he's probably worth this price, plus the factor of him just getting the ball alongside Genty. You did backstack him. I will give you that. I will give you that, brother. I will give you that. But it's just funny to see Rodgers at 161. That's all. But you appropriately gave me shit to take him unstacked. Appropriately, I think it all checks out. But I find it funny to see that. Amon-Ra, AJ Brown, Ladidi McConkey. So AJ and Ladd are stacked up. Xavier Worthy, pretty good with Jaden Higgins, Omar Cooper, your boy, and Jeremy Bernard at 200. Very solid receiver room. Very legit. Very good. And then Kyle Pitts, Njoku, and Terrence Ferguson. Not bad at all. You got the Njoku combo. Pitts at 104. Right at ADP. Very good team. As expected, Who Hames is coming out of this draft live to advance. And ultimately, that's all you can ask for. Who Hames is a very good team here. Running back, a little tricky. Scattaboo leaned on a little bit more than I might like typically, but at 56, it's a no-brainer. And then Ramondre probably does deliver ultimately to be worth it. But I don't fucking have it. Not me. Maybe Jiri, maybe Who Hames, but not me. I'm a Woody Marks hater for sure. Okay. Amped was it? Yeah. At this point, Alfred, I'm going through all of them. I'm going to do every single one, and then I'm going to log off because I don't have time for the third. So I'm giving everyone a team review today, whether you're a member or not. Thank you, Who Hames, for being a member. Glad I can make you laugh. Amped has Jaden, Jackson Dart, and Gino. Got Gino at 198. Almost made me regret taking Malik Willis, but I did get sniped on Gino ultimately. Travis, Travion, JCM, Jordan Mason, Dylan Sampson, and Braylon Allen. I'm not in love with the JCM price. I rarely ever take Sampson. I don't take Mason too often either. And then I never take Braylon Allen, but you have 6. Structurally, it checks out. Player take-wise, these are not the names I like to be drafting, though. That's just my preference, though. I might be wrong on some of these guys. I just don't really like them. JSN, Neighbors, feels excellent. JMO, Ricky Pearsall, very good depth. And then Coker as the 5th. I always feel pretty good about Coker as the 5th. Antonio Williams, valuable rookie with Trey Harris, high breakout potential at this point in time. Good team with Tucker Kraft, and then the big discount on Aradde Gadsden at 150. I did just take Gadsden at 153 in the last lobby. So not bad. Not a bad team at all. The quarterback room is stacked up with Neighbors and Jackson Dart, Antonio Williams, and Jaden Daniels. And then you have Gino unstacked, but at a very big discount. Given the injury risk of Jaden and Jackson Dart, I do think at this price, it was wise to just take Geno. I think that was wise. I wasn't going to take him, so I'm glad that you stole him from me, but I would have even been compelled to grab him. I wasn't going to do 4 quarterbacks, though. Good team. Don't feel amazing about the running back room, but overall a pretty good team. It's just player takes. My only complaint. So good luck. Now we're checking out Alford's team. You're welcome, JT. You go with a 3-5-8-2 with Jalen Hurts, Deshaun, and Shador. So you do get both of them. At least in that regard, you're locking up a starter every week, and Hurts should deliver. So it's okay. Waiting this long for QB2 probably makes the rest of your roster good, but I'm just not someone that takes many investments into the Browns. I don't like drafting massage. But running back, we got Jonathan Taylor and Jeremiah Love. Kyron in the 3rd round, he pulled him up. J.K. Dobbins and Rashad White, very good running back room. No complaints there. Mike Evans, Romadunze, Mekhi Lemon with Hurts. Casey Concepcion is the 4th. That's a little tricky. And Denzel Boston and Judy. Yikes. You also have Fannin. Fuck. I don't love the mega commitment to Cleveland. I mean, like, I guess it's worth mixing in every now and then, but like, fuck, bro. Fuck! I don't like it. Naylor and Wicks, though, solid. The receiver room scares me. The receiver room feels very scary. However, at least every week, you are getting one of these Browns in your lineup, probably. Probably. It's not a guarantee, though. Evans is going to miss time, at least 3 games at this stage of his career every season. So that's kind of concerning. The receiver room is very hard to trust. But Fannin and Hunter Henry should be good. I think you've overcommit to the Browns. But if you are going to overcommit, you have both quarterbacks. Maybe they're the team that I'm sleeping on that really delivers. I know Young Moolah, GAB for life, believes that they are worth drafting a little bit more often. But I would never do this. I'm never taking Concepcion and Boston and Judy and Fannin. A little too much for me in Cleveland. Good luck. I don't love it. Danimal has 4 quarterbacks, 4 running backs. Interesting build. Let's check out Danimal here. Goff, Brissett, Mendoza, and Tua. All right. You'll get some points early in the season and some points later on. Tua will mix in at random times, but a lot is invested on Goff. And having 4, I think, just structurally is very hard to come back from. So maybe you found a way, but Brees, Monty, Chuba, and Pollard probably going to get away with it. It's okay, but to have 4 running backs and not take one until round 3 is bold. I'll say that. Bold strategy, Cotton. I hope it works out for you. Chuba might be a very bad click when it's all said and done. It's possible he's terrible if Brooks really does deliver. But Puka, Rashi in the first 2 rounds with DJ Moore in the 5th. Wandale as your 4th is pretty solid. Hunter, Debo, and Christian Kirk. Kirk and Hunter not going to contribute that often, but if they do, it might be worthwhile. Debo, a big variable. You took him at 148. Fuck. Big reach on Debo. I'm a Debo believer, but I don't reach on him that high. In our last draft, I passed on him at like pick 180, so I don't see that too often. That's notable. Laporta, Kittle, and Freiermuth, good tight end room. Receiver room is solid. Running back room might get it done, but like I'd be passing on one of these quarterbacks for a 5th running back. If you advance, you fucking deserve it, bro. Good luck, but a little too risky for my liking. Just a touch. I would have liked that 5th running back, given you waited for Brees as RB1. I don't like Brees in the 3rd. Don't really love Chuba in the 6th. So that's where, if I was going to bet on one of the 4 running back rooms to advance, I don't know if I would pick this one. There's 3 of them in this lobby. There's 3 of them. And I could totally be wrong. Do I know what's going to happen? Ultimately, I don't. So I hope I'm wrong for your sake, but I don't know if I would have done 4 QBs. That's all. You can talk yourself into it. I've been trying to maybe mix him in a little bit because I was like refusing to take him for a while, but it does scare me. Game Tight has already drafted with us, so I will review your team, but I'm going to do it last. We got Sweet Leaf in here with Patrick Mahomes, Bo Nix, Tyler Shuck, good quarterback room, and you did wait, not bad. Thank you all for the subscription. Bijan, Josh Jacobs, Swift, Tyrone Tracy, Emmett Johnson, and Alvin Kamara. Pretty good running back room. No complaints there. Luther Burden, Harrison, Sutton. Stribling as the fourth is tough. Cooper Kupp, Pat Bryant, Tyquan Thornton. Damn. That's going to be tricky. Good luck. I hope it works out for you, but that is a little tough to come back from. And then Bowers and Kelsey. Yeah, that checks out. There's a weakness at receiver here, but everything else is pretty strong. Could work. Got to thread the needle. I wish you luck. This is a bit tough to bet on, but good luck. I hope you can get it done, Sweet Leaf. The parlay, not sure if they were drafting. I'll just skim it real fast and then take a look at the last team. Stafford, Stroud, Daniel Jones. That's fine. Gibbs, Corum, Aaron Jones, Spears, Wilson, and Katron. Kind of tricky, but with Gibbs, it probably checks out. Nico, Adams, Terry, Metcalf, Pearson, Keenan. Yikes. Not enough receivers here. Keenan as the 6th. I mean, maybe, but yikes. Trey McBride, Sadiq, and Hawkinson. I don't love these two. I think you could get away with just 2 tight ends. I think you needed a 7th receiver. Yeah. You passed on receiver for Sadiq and Hawkinson. I would have taken someone there. Give me someone. I don't think you need both of those tight ends when you already had McBride. But 5 early receivers and Gibbs could deliver. Quarterback room is solid enough. Good luck, but I'm not in love with this team out of the 101. It was a tough lobby. I don't know if this is the front runner I would choose to make it out. Game Tight, though, did reach on Burrow to pair up with Jamar and T. Higgins. He also took Lamar Jackson, so this will be an interesting team. A 2-8-6-2 and running back by committee. He has Kyle Monangai, Jonathan Brooks. Could be enough. Keaton Mitchell, Isaiah Pacheco, valuable handcuffs. I like Nick Singleton. Pretty valuable click, in my opinion. Ray Davis, Kalen Black, and Jordan James, so both Niners handcuffs. Good luck. You just need someone to get the job and deliver, but if you have to wait too long and these are the 2 that are carrying you for like 10 weeks, I don't think you'll be able to catch up. That's my gut feeling on it. But Jamar, Drake London, T. Higgins, Tyson Downs, and Trey Tucker, very legit receiver room. That's not the problem here. Tyler Warren and Mark Andrews, pretty good at ADP clicks. So, yeah, it's just whether or not this running back room works out. And for the most part, it's hard to believe that 0 RB is the best strategy these days. Someone's got to fall on the sword. Someone's going to try it out. And when you start off Jamar, London, Higgins, and then go Burrow and Lamar, might as well double down. Good luck. I don't hate it, but I know you have an uphill battle. I'm wishing you the best of luck. Bryce Long says, up on the clock in Dynasty Startup, who do I go? Taylon Green, Cole Payton, Najee, Tez Johnson, Deion Burks, Andrus Hibner. Fuck. I have no fucking clue, man. Shit. I have no fucking clue. I'm going to be honest. I don't even know who Taylon Green, Cole Payton are. I have not looked into their stats whatsoever. He's not coming up here. What the fuck? Okay. Tight end premium league. I legitimately have no idea what to tell you. Dynasty's not my game. I don't know who the fuck half these people are. I don't think I'm the guy to ask, brother. I think you gotta ask someone else. I got no fucking clue. I guess Najee and Tez are my first directions, and then Deion Burks, just because I know who he is. Those are my top three, but I wouldn't take my advice on this question. Not at all. Sorry, Albie. Appreciate you hopping in, but I think we're done for today. One final reminder on my roster: Dak, Cam Ward, Malik Willis, CMC, Derrick Henry, Bucky Irving, Tyler Algier, Tank Bigsby, Pickens, Wilson, Carnell Tate, Quentin Johnson, Jacoby Myers, Matthew Golden, and Chris Bell, Jake Ferguson, Gunnar Helm, and Greg Dulcich. I don't feel amazing about my chances. This was a very tough lobby. Pick 7 is not the easiest spot to be in. I might make it out of here alive if my receiver room does deliver. I'm not dead, but I genuinely have no fucking clue who the top 2 teams are going to be. I think Who Hames has a very good chance to advance. I think Jiri has a good team. I think I have a legit team. And then I also felt pretty good about I think it was Amped. Oh, it was UCF Jaguar. I think UCF Jaguar had a really, really good roster. But I genuinely have no fucking clue. Whoever does make it out, it's a badge of honor, and we'll see what happens. But thank you for understanding. Thank you for understanding. T Green is like a young Lamar, inaccurate and inconsistent, but electric. I have a hard time believing some of those rookie quarterbacks are gonna actually deliver over time. But if it's a tight end premium, maybe just take the tight end. Good luck, brother. But I think that's going to be it for today. I think we're done. Subscribe to Who Hames, subscribe to Jiri, subscribe to Fantasy Garage, subscribe to Young Moolah, Bayou Bengal. Anyone who's been a friend of the channel, subscribe to them, and appreciate everyone for hopping in today. We got 31 viewers still, and I will finally take a look at how many likes we got. I'll check at the very... Whoops. We got 43 likes. Y'all are awesome. Damn. I did not expect that. I thought it would be close to like 30. Y'all really delivered today. Thank you so much. This was a great, great stream. And I will see y'all tomorrow. Peace out. Later. Bye-bye.